So last week in Don Brothers episode 13, we saw the demise and death of Momotaro as he was struck down at the end of the episode by Sonoi, one of the brain people. And episode 14 continues our heroes trying to figure out what they're going to do next without their leader. But they've got a replacement coming, Jiro Momotani, I believe his name is, and this character is the future Gold/Silver Ranger in Avatar Sentai Don Brothers. So, let's talk about episode 14 of Don Brothers, because I have kind of mixed feelings with how quickly this Momotaro thing is going to get resolved, and I thought it was going to get resolved in this episode, where the drama would be resolved very quickly. So, let's talk about Don Brothers episode 14. So, Don Brothers episode 14. The cold opening of this episode is three of our heroes, Oni sister, Saru brother, and Kiji brother, talking to Momotaro's foster father in the jail cell, where he believes it's useless and there's nothing they can do to bring back Momotaro, but a replacement should be coming very, very soon. And then after the opening credits, where I thought I was tricked in the opening credits, I thought they would remove Momotaro from the dance sequence, but that's not the case. They got to keep him in there, but we meet our hero after the opening credits, Jiro Monotani, and he's quite the interesting character because he's sort of got the same backstory as Momotaro, where he sort of came from the Peach Dimension or from the sky and landed in a river, except he was found by a police officer and the police officer took him to an orphanage, and ever since Jiro was a kid, he believed he was destined to be some kind of hero, so he kept training every day like some kind of hero. He did the Saitama training every day by doing the sit-ups and the push-ups and the monkey bars and stuff like that, and he believed he was destined for great things. And then eventually he finds out about Momotaro, or gets the feeling, I think he gets the feeling in his gut that it's his time to leave the village, and he leaves his village, where I also like this comparison between Momotaro and Jiro, where Jiro's sort of from the countryside of Japan, and Momotaro was sort of raised in the city area, so I like those two parallels between them. Now, there's not much I can say about Jiro because he didn't get a lot of screen time in this episode. I mean, he got sort of the first 7 minutes dedicated to him, sort of learning about his backstory and how he was raised and stuff like that. And then he sort of made his hero debut where he kind of saved our heroes, but he got in the way. And I liked his sort of hero debut where, because he can't morph yet, he doesn't have his henshin device or his transformation device, his sort of debut is sort of changing clothes into this really cool outfit that you've probably seen in the thumbnail and all the images and stuff online, where he calls himself the Fire Dragon, I believe, which it was a really cool introduction where he sort of does his hero pose, and like I said, he thinks he's the hero, he thinks he's destined for greatness, so he's sort of stepping up and trying to fight all these bad guys. But because he doesn't have any weapons or anything like that, he starts throwing rocks at the brain people, and that got a laugh out of me. Like, he's just throwing rocks at him thinking that will stop him. So he's trying to be a hero, but he's also getting in the way. But also during that battle before Jiro shows up, you also have one of the brain people, the blue one, the one that killed Momotaro. He sort of saves Oni's sister from being killed from the girl brain person, Sononoi? I get their names really confused. I know there's Sonzai and Sonoi, and then the girl's called like Sononoi. I probably butchered that name, but the blue one saves Oni's sister for some reason in this episode. I don't know why, they don't explain it. Even when the bad guys question him on it, he doesn't explain it. But then when they fight at the end of the episode, he's back to sort of attacking her for some reason. So they don't really explain why he saved her or what the heck was up with that, and that doesn't get explained either. But one of the big things in this episode is Inuzuka, Inu brother. He sort of gets caught by the police officer possessed by the bestial once again, or the bestial posing as the police officer that's out to get him, and he gets on his bike, which I don't know if it's his bike, because whenever he's getting chased by this guy, he jumps on a random black bike and sort of gets away from him, but he sort of bumps into Miho, Kiji brother's wife, and he bumps into her, and he sort of freaks out because he thinks it's Natsumi. It's like, Natsumi, do you remember me? And she's like, you might be mistaking me for someone else. And he sort of has that realization going, oh, okay. And then after he sort of leaves to get away from the police officer, she faints, and Kiji Brothers are really mad. He's big time mad with what's happening, because at the end of the episode, you sort of see him start to transform into one of the monsters of the week. And I believe he's going to turn into a Car Ranger based monster, because this monster was based on Turbo Ranger, and in the preview you kind of heard the car sound effects when he was fighting, so I do wonder if this one's going to be Car Ranger, and like this upcoming one's going to be Car Ranger, because today's episode was Turbo Ranger, so maybe they'll do that. But the thing that I have mixed feelings about in this episode is they're somehow able to revive Momotaro in this episode, and that's by using the point system. Now, they don't really explain or say if Momotaro is back for good. It's implied that he's back because he comes in, he saves the day, he forms the Megazord of our heroes, and they defeat the monster of the week, but then he sort of disappears once again, and we kind of don't know what's up with that. So that's probably going to get explained next week, because next week's episode is called Welcome Back Momotaro, but I kind of had a feeling that the point system would come into play again this to bring back Momotaro, because that's how they can wish for anything they want, so no doubt about it, they would have used that to wish back Momotaro. But the fact that it happens so quickly and it's going to get resolved by next week, kind of mixed feelings on. But if they brought him back in this episode and they were like, yay, he's back after one episode later, I'd had mixed feelings about it. But Momotaro is back, but they haven't fully explained it. So the best way to describe episode 14 of Don Brothers is, it was the introduction to a brand new Sixth Ranger that will be morphing next week in episode 15, but it was also setting up stuff for later story arcs and later plot points that will need to get explained later down the line as the show goes on. I mean, we've got the Bestials still running around, we've got Miho still possessed by one of the Bestials, which I thought they'd touch upon in this episode, because they kept playing the ominous music, and I thought she'd sort of trick Kiji Brother and sort of attack him, but that's not the case. This Bestial is playing it really smart by the looks of things, but it's going to be setting up for stuff for next week, with Kiji Brother sort of turning into the monster of the week. That should be very interesting. I can't wait to see where that is going to go. Hopefully he doesn't bite the dust and our heroes are able to save him. And we're also going to see our brand new hero Jiro morph into the Gold Ranger, which is going to be really cool as well, because I'm excited to see what this character is going to bring to the table. I liked his introduction. His introduction was okay. I mean, it wasn't like super crazy, it was more comedic than serious, but still it was kind of a cool introduction, because they did some really cool camera angles when he was introduced that reminded me of old school Sentai, where it would just quickly fast zoom into the character really quickly. So I got a lot of vibes from old school Sentai with those kind of shots. But I did like his introduction, but I want to see what the character is going to do next moving forward, because although he's only been in one episode, I don't want to say he's my favourite character so far. I mean, we'll see how he develops later down the line as the show goes on. But anyway guys, what did you think of Don Brothers episode 14? Tell me in the comment section down below. Do you love our new Gold/Silver Ranger? What do you think of him? Do you think he's a cool guy? Do you think he's not a cool guy? What do you think of Momotaro getting revived somewhat very quickly? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. And what did you think of the episode overall? Tell me in the comment section down below. With that said, I'm going to bring this video to a close. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, take care, bye, thanks for watching.